Hey, Tams, this is Kelsey. Can you hear me? I think you've been muted.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
How
Hillary,
far back?
you might want to start over. Hillary sent you a chat letting you know you're muted, and I guess you didn't see it. If you could go back a couple slides.
Info. Sorry about that, y'all.
All good.
So I'll just jump in and talk about Brad Cole again. Y'all hearing me okay? I don't see the chat. I've only got a couple screens. I need a third one.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. So we'll cover the cover the Southeast. Currently, we have jobs in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. But our main focus is there in the Southeast, covering Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee as well. But we have done jobs elsewhere in the country, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Illinois, and I believe that's for the most part, that's all of them. We do work everything from large site grading for manufacturing plants to solar farms. We've got a couple solar farms going right now, to large earthen dams, to sites, schools, things like that. We have a couple alums, a few alums that work for the company. Our president of Brad Cole Construction, Ron Cryer, the president of Brad Cole Site Services, Wade Douthit, and Francisco Santiago's had a presentation for y'all back in January that he did. He's assistant project manager, graduated, I think, 2017 from Auburn. He runs the project that's rebuilding a dam on Fort Jackson in South Carolina. Who am I? My name's Thames Mullins. Grew up in South Louisiana. Graduated from Southeastern Louisiana University. Went to work for a Siteworx, Louisiana, in 2007. Before that, I worked in construction, surveying. But at Siteworx, I became the training support manager. Siteworx's a Trimble dealership that sells GPS technology to construction companies. So I went to work for them in 2007 doing training and support with my survey background. During that time, I became the first certified trainer in 3 of their product lines, SES 900, GCS 900, and Business Center. And we'll see bits and pieces of those products. They've moved on from the days I learned them and became a certified trainer. They've gotten even more advanced since then. 2009, I moved to Texas, Dallas area. Went into sales, selling the technology, did that for a few years, and then moved to Georgia in 2014 and did sales there as well. Started work with Brad Cole Construction 3 years ago as their GPS manager. So I'm responsible for taking basically an engineering set of plans and turning it into data that we can use in the field, in the project, building 3D models. And then I also manage all of our GPS technology in the field, and anything kind of technology wise that we do as a company, I kind of have input on those. So some of the projects that we've done, Auburn University or Auburn High School, we did the site work for that. We've done a solar site in Butler, Georgia. You'll see a little video on that. We've worked on, we're actually still working on Eglin Air Force Base, doing some work there. Large manufacturing like GT Tire. Worked at rail and rail yards at Plant Shear. We're currently doing some coal pile work there, some ponds for them. And then we just finished up here the last couple of months, the Richland Creek Dam here in Paulding County, Georgia. It's one of the largest earthen dams east of the Mississippi River, so it was a pretty nice project to be part of. Glad to glad to get that work and be able to finish that project on time. So why is 3D technology important to us? This is a little video that was made, before I came along, when Brad Cole was first getting into technology. It kind of talks about how, important technology is. I'm gonna stop my screen for just a second. I'll come back to it. Hold on one second. Okay.
This is Taylor 3 solar site in Butler, Georgia. I have approximately 18 pieces of equipment, 35 men. We're building a solar site. It's 800 acres, 5 million yards of dirt to move.
This is a sustainability project for a greener America. When we can do our part to employ people and utilize efficient Cat machinery, we just feel like it helps the environment and our country. One thing that sets Brad Cole apart is the fact that we take safety very seriously. At our company, safety is a culture.
It's a lot safer. You're aware of your surroundings. You're not looking around you to the sides, the back. You're focused on what's going on in front of you.
GPS grade control has really helped us on this project by allowing us to establish those grades accurately and more efficiently and provide the product that our customer is demanding. One of the things that CAT's integrated grade control has done for us, it's taken another exposure out of our day in taking down that system and putting it back up.
You don't have any vandalism because there's nothing outside the tractor to be vandalized. I went to the demo. I asked our salesman, I said, where's this tractor going when it leaves here? He said, we're probably taking it back to the dealership. I said, I've got a lowboy on the way. It's going straight to our job. We have several D6Ts. We found that they are a stronger machine. It does so much more, so much faster. We love the 3D. It's so easy to set up.
We have to produce a good product, a very high tolerance, on a very tight schedule. Client specifically has came to us and told us that we are not the typical grading company. Tolerances when they come in and check behind us are on grade. They have commended our ability, and a lot of that is due to the machinery and the grade control that we utilize.
Operators really like it whenever you put them in a nice piece of equipment. It's comfortable, you get more production out of it. It just makes a happier operator. A happier operator uses more production. The operators love it really because the screen sizes are smaller. Also, they've made the screens touch screen. You don't have to sit there and go through the buttons and all that. You can do it right on the screen.
Having GPS technology allows us to be more competitive. We're actually slated to complete this project about 45 days early. That translates into better product, but more importantly, a satisfied customer.
We're working smarter, not harder.
So that's just a look into why we're using technology today. The three main things that, out of that video is, one is safety. Like Ron was saying in the video, not having to take a system on and off is very important, but, to be able to keep people away from the equipment helps us stay safe, and injury is not something we want to happen on site. So being able to keep grade our laborers and our surveyors away from equipment, allow the equipment to run by themselves, just keeps us safer. Also, the accuracy, the GPS is a lot more accurate than a human can be on grading. So in the past, we would lay out grade every 25 feet, 50 feet for them. They would be perfect at that spot where we gave them grade, but in between they would be either a little bit higher, a little bit low, where the GPS technology allows us just to kind of keep it consistent all the way through and keep it on grade. By doing that, we can cut our costs with material savings, our time. As you heard Ron say, we were 45 days ahead of schedule on that project, so saving time saves us money. And if we don't have to go back and regrade something because it was off, You know, that's just more time savings. So kind of what I do is I take a set of plans from an engineer, like you see here. Those plans are two-dimensional, so it's just, you know, line work on a piece of paper that has grade markings, contours, and things like that. I take that data and I convert it into a 3D model. So I can take those images together, you see up at the top left, and kind of stitch them together and make one image from it. Bring in the AutoCAD line work from the engineers and be able to have that line work elevated. And then down here at the bottom left, you'll see it's kind of a 3D surface of what we have to build there in the field. Once I have that 3D surface, we get what our quantities are for that project, how much dirt we have to move, and where we have to move it from and where to. So that's kind of the first step of what we do, is taking the engineering's 2D stuff, creating a 3D world out of it so that we can build that project. Our surveyors in the field, they have a software. It's called Trimble Siteworx. This is the newer version of SES 900. It allows them to know where they're at on the project, how much dirt is either need to be moved into that area or taken out of that area, what the elevation of that spot should be and what it is currently. So it gives them a view of what's happening on site. Also use it to lay out our storm, our curbs, anything we have to lay out for other trades. And then we move into machine control. And this is a video, but I'm going to talk over it. So I turn the sound off. It's easier to see this stuff in videos than it is to do just pictures of it. This is a new Trimble Earthwork system. As you can see, the screen gives them great information down here at the bottom. What design elevation is, what they are, where the machine's at. They can see it on the screen. But what's real nice about it, and you'll see, I don't know why this guy's got to zip his jacket up in the video, but I guess he was cold. But this joystick down at the bottom controls the blade of the machine. It lifts it and tilts it left or right so that we can grade the dirt the way we need it. You'll see he just pushed the button. Once he pushes that button, the GPS system takes over the blade. So the blade raises and lowers, tilts left and right to make sure the dirt's being graded to the way it's supposed to be. The reason that all that can happen is because these two antennas at the top of the dozer, they're collecting the GPS information. They compare it to one another. And then there's a bunch of measurements that's carried out and sensors carried out to the blade of the machine that tells the system where that blade is. So the operator can go through the screen, changes how far up or down the surface needs to be. And then you can see here, he's grading right now. It's not even touching that joystick. So he's not having to do any input for the blade itself. He's literally just driving the machine, and he can focus on people around him. He can look, make sure he's grading correctly. As you can see, he's kind of dialing into the surface and looking at what the end product should look like. And really allows him to kind of have more control than just what somebody would give him in the field. In the past, there would be a bunch of stakes. He'd have to kind of read them and know what's going on. So that's the machine control that we do. So let's go to the next slide. After we start doing jobs, we do a lot of drone work. This is something that we started in the last year and a half, is doing GPS or topos, measuring the site with photogrammetry. So we're doing drone data. So this is one of the projects that we're working on. I'm going to switch over to that software real quick so that y'all can kind of see it in action. So this is our drone deploy software. that we're using currently. You can see this is the same site that you saw on the presentation. I can turn and look at it in 3D. So we can come in here, look at how the site's being built. You know, we can see some extra dirt that we've got piled up. We can see in our ponds that we've got our skimmers in, our baffles in, this head wall for the storm drains coming in. So we can kind of use it for some inspection tools, but I also can use it to come in here and calculate volume. So I want to know the volume of dirt that's in this pile here. I can quickly go through here and measure around this pile, and it gives me how much material is inside that pile, so that I know that material needs to go somewhere and how much is there. And then we export all this data out as a point cloud that I can bring into the software that I built the 3D model in and get quantities and know how much work we have left to do for progress and things like that. So that's our drone data information. Jump back over to the PowerPoint. So what's new? What's coming? You know, the one thing I kind of wanted to touch and give y'all the idea of is construction's not playing in the dirt anymore, and you know, and all that. Even though it's something we do and we enjoy, it's not about just the big equipment pushing dirt around. It's really the technology's kind of taken over the construction industry. So this is a new product that has just come out, and you'll see. I'll play it so that y'all can kind of see it in action. But this is a road that work's about to be done on, and you can take that 3D model that I would build in the office and load it into this system, and be able to kind of walk around and see a virtual reality of what that new surface or that new site is supposed to look like. And you can see these little red things or tags where you can kind of measure, you know, how much materials left to do, and then you can kind of type up work orders or instructions for a to-do list or things like that and send it out to people. So there's this whole connected site, connected world that's going on in construction that's really, I would say, in the next 3 to 5 years is really going to explode. This is showing a curve that has to go in, storm going in 3-dimensionally. You can see it being installed and what it's supposed to look like. So really kind of taking that virtual reality world and bringing it into the construction industry. This is one example of it. Something simple, tools that can be used in the field to kind of see what's being done. And when you see what the tool looks like, this is using a phone and a little GPS receiver. So that's what it looks like. It's just a little phone. You can use your phone plus the software, so or the little GPS receiver. And then kind of, this is the latest and greatest. Trimble released this a couple years ago, and it's really starting to hit the market now. I'll play it again. There's no sound. I'll turn some sound on a little bit, but these guys look kind of funny in the beginning because they're just wearing this funny looking helmet with these glasses on it. But it's Microsoft's new HoloLens technology. So I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with BIM modeling or anything like that, but go in and build, your mechanical AC ducts, sewer lines, water lines, all that into a 3D model. We would use this in the dirt industry as well, kind of similar to that one before it. But while you're wearing this helmet, you can see this guy, he's like pinching and doing things like he's on a phone, but he's not. And you'll see here in a second that he's seeing something totally different than everybody else. So this is what he's seeing. He's seeing all that information of where those structures and things have to go. And so he can kind of see if things are clashing, things that's already installed is going to hit what he's supposed to put in. And then the future of this is to really be able to take, as we advance in the construction industry, and take as-built of what we have done and put it back into the system. When this building is finished, you should be able to go through with this technology and see where those ducts are, where the piping is, to make sure that if any remodel work needs to be done or anything like that, you know where that technology is, so you can kind of x-ray or see your way through that wall with that technology. So it's just kind of where this industry's headed. I started doing this in, like I said, 2007. And the days of being able to put on a hard hat with a pair of glasses and seeing pipe, or walking around with your phone, a little GPS unit, and seeing what, grade and stuff was not even a thought. There's technology out today that, 2007, I thought, there's no way we'd ever do something like that. There was talk about it, and people would laugh and say, there's no way they could ever do that. And 2020, we get past the coronavirus, we're going to be doing this. This is technology that we're going to be implementing. A lot of this stuff we're going to be implementing at Bracco over the next few years. And that just means we're going to have more emphasis on people who can manage technology and deal with the technology in the construction industry and how to apply it. That need's going to grow as much as needing a project manager or superintendent or something like that. So that's really all I got today. If there's any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. I did that great of a job. Awesome. Or if y'all want to hit it up on the chat, I can see the chat now. All right.
Tams, I actually had a question.
Okay.
So I actually couldn't see your PowerPoint, so I don't know if this was answered on the slides. But when you were talking about switching the plans from 2D to 3D, what software were you using to change AutoCAD to 3D?
Yeah, we use Trimble Business Center. So we actually have two. We have the AgTech software that our estimating department uses, and then I use the Trimble Business Center software.
Okay, awesome. I was just curious. Thank you.
No problem. If there's not any other questions, I appreciate y'all's time. Thanks for logging in. I hope this was interesting information for y'all. We're hiring. We always are hiring. We're always looking for good people to join the team. You can go to braccoconstruction.com and look at what positions we have open, or find us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Kelsey, our marketing manager, does a great job keeping up with that. A lot of interesting stuff coming that she puts out there. So if that's it, if anybody got any questions, I'll hang on for a little while and answer questions. All right. Thank y'all.